Hi everyone, this is Mark with Ease Investing. Welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about selling a put, and I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible if you are beginning to learn about selling a put. I am going to talk to you as if I were talking to a friend that was beginning to learn how to sell a put. I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible so you understand it. And my goal of this video is you understand selling a put by the end of this video. Selling a put is very, very easy to understand. I have nothing to gain from this video as far as selling a course or making money off of you by giving you half the information and having you pay for the other half. So if you enjoy this and if this provides value to you, please like the video and leave a comment if you have any questions. In its simplest form, how you make money by selling a put is you make money for a promise that you make. So when you hear someone say sell a put, think of them making a promise. And for them making this promise, they get paid money. So let's get into why you get paid money for making a promise by selling a put. So to sell a put in Robinhood, we're going to sell a put in this example on SoFi stock. SoFi is currently trading for $14.08 a share. Let's just say $14. To sell a put, you click trade, you click trade options, and you select an expiration date. Remember, selling a put is like making a promise. So the longer you make this promise, do you think you get paid more money or less money? Of course, you get paid more money the longer you make the promise. Most people, when they sell a put, they go about a month out. Today is June 14th, so a month out from now is about July 18th. So we're going to make our promise from now until July 18th, so for about a month. Make sure you have sell and put selected. Remember, this stock is trading about $14 a share. Generally speaking, when someone sells a put, they are going to select a price that is less than the current stock price. So let's go ahead and go for the $13 put. So $13 is $1 less than the current stock price. Remember, you are getting paid money for making a promise. The promise is, when you are selling a put, is you are agreeing to buy this stock for $13 a share if the stock is below $13 a share by July 18th, because July 18th is how long you are making that promise. And for making that promise, they are paying you 45 cents. Now, this is an important point when you are selling a put or when you're dealing with any options. One contract represents 100 shares. So all these numbers can be times by 100. Let me explain. Remember, the share price is $14.08. So if you were to buy 100 shares of SoFi for $14, 14 times 100 is $1,400. My two biggest rules for selling a put are, number one, make sure it's a stock that you want to own, and number two, having the stock price be at a price that you are comfortable paying for 100 shares of the stock. So in this example, if I were to sell a put on SoFi, I would have to make sure SoFi was a stock I already wanted to own. That would be the first check mark. And then the second check mark would be, I am already comfortable paying $14 a share and buying 100 shares of SoFi today with that current price of $14. So if those two check marks have been met, then you are ready to sell a put. That's how you gauge if you're ready to sell a put or not. If it's a stock that I don't want to own, I'm not going to sell a put on it. Or if the stock is at a price I'm not comfortable paying for 100 shares today for the stock, then I'm not going to sell a put on it. If you have check marks next to those two questions, if it's a stock you want to own and if it's already at a price that you want to own it, then you really can't lose selling a put, because you would just be getting the stock for less expensive or cheaper than you would by buying it today. Meaning, if you are going to sell a $13 put, remember your promise is you'll pay $13 a share, and each contract's 100 shares. So you would pay for 100 shares of SoFi for $13. 13 times 100 is $1,300 if SoFi is below $13 a share by July 18th. So let's compare. If you bought 100 shares of SoFi today, you would be paying $1,400. But by doing this contract, if you were to buy 100 shares of SoFi for $13 July 18th, you would be paying $1,300. So if this contract were to, let's say, how some people view it, going against them, and SoFi were to drop to $12 by July 18th, you would be on the hook to pay $13 a share for SoFi, and you'd have to buy 100 shares. So you would be paying more money for SoFi on July 18th than you would be if you just bought it for $12 a share. But compared to today, June 14th, you are actually getting SoFi for $100 less, because instead of paying $1,400 June 14th for 100 shares of SoFi, on July 18th, you are paying $1,300 for 100 shares of SoFi. Remember, on June 14th, when you made this contract, though, they paid you 45 cents per contract. 45 cents times 100 is $45. So you're getting paid $45 to make this contract. So if you think about it, you are actually paying, instead of $1,300, you're actually paying $1,255, since you're getting paid the $45 to make the contract. So I hope that makes sense about when you are going to buy, or when you're going to make a promise to sell a put, you're getting paid money for that promise. So let's go ahead and continue on. We'll click on the $13 put. We'll click sell. We're going to do one contract, which is 100 shares. Remember, we're agreeing to buy SoFi for $13 a share if the stock price is below $13 by July 18th. By doing so, we'll do 0.45. So we're going to get paid $45 for doing this. Next, we'll click review, and then you would swipe up to submit. So let's go back to this. So let's talk about basically what happened. There are only two things that can happen on July 18th. Either SoFi is above the $13. Let's go over what happens if it's above $13. If SoFi is above $13 on July 18th, you would just keep the $45 that you got paid for making that promise, and then your promise expires, because remember, the expiration date is July 18th. So that's the only thing that happens if SoFi is above $13 by July 18th, is you keep the $45. Now let's go over what happens if SoFi is below the $13 on July 18th. You still keep the $45 that you got paid for making the promise, but you have to pay for 100 shares of SoFi for each contract that you did, and you have to pay $13 a share for SoFi if it's below the $13. So if you did one contract, you'd be paying $1,300 for SoFi, and that would give you 100 shares of SoFi, and you would just pocket the $45 that you were paid for making that promise. That is selling a put made simple, is you're getting paid for a promise you're making, and that's what happens if the share price is above your selected put price, or if the share price is below your selected put price.